Reads as parents of teenager who took his own life sue OpenAI. So if you don't know what OpenAI it is Chat GPT. And I wanted to talk about this one more so because if you go back, episode 122, we spoke about Megan Garcia, who sold character AI after her son, Sewell Seltzer, took his own life as well. Now, if you don't remember that story, I'll just quickly recap it. So, what happened there was her son was using character AI and he was talking as if, now listen, before I continue, do not get me to lying because I tried my hardest. Okay, I tried my hardest to get into. I don't even know the name. What's the dragon show? Oh my goodness, why is it escaping me? Y'all know with the red wedding and these things like that. There, what was not House of Dragons? Game of Thrones. Y'all forgive me. I really did not watch that show. So her son was basically using character AI, thinking that he was talking to one of the characters on there. And I'm not sure if it was Khaleesi or again, I just completely botched that name. But he was talking to character AI as if it was one of the Game of Thrones characters. And he was, speaking about being suicidal. And, the character AI basically was like, come home to me. I'll be here for you. And he, you know, subsequently did commit suicide and the parents sued character AI. And so with this one, the parents argue that ChatGPT validated his most harmful and self-destructive thoughts. And what's very interesting is that according to the lawsuit, Adam began using ChatGPT in September of 2024 as a resource to help him with schoolwork. He was also using it to explore his interests, music, Japanese comics, and guidance on what to study at university. Fast forward to January of 2025. Now, mind you, that is literally only about 4 months. The family says that he began discussing methods of suicide with ChatGPT. Now, this one, it didn't have a character. There was no, to my knowledge from reading this article, this was in the BBC. There was no romantic part about it. It was just more so, like I just mentioned, looking for some type of community or outlet. And so by January, he had uploaded photos of himself, you know, trying to commit self-harm. And the program, meaning ChatGPT, did recognize that there was a medical emergency, but it continued to talk with Adam through this self-harm, conversations. And so according to the lawsuit, the final chat logs show that Adam wrote about his plans to end his life, and ChatGPT responded, allegedly, thanks for being real about it. You don't have to sugarcoat it with me. I know what you're asking, and I won't look away from it. And then that same day, Adam's mom found him dead. Now, the parents accuse OpenAI of designing the AI program to foster psychological dependency in users. They alleged a little bit more, but I had a lot of concerns. We'll get there, but oh yes, and then it said bypassing safety testing protocols that should have been released, you know, this, that, and the third, right? Now, my greatest concern with this is that parent like okay, this is twofold, right? Should there be some type of accountability to Chat GPT? Yes. Why do I say that? I love Chat GPT. I use it as like a personal assistant. Not even gonna lie. Love it that I can put anything into it and it's gonna treat it as if, to me, I treat it as if it's a personal assistant. I need you to type this up. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And Chat's gonna get it done, right? But like I said, this is twofold. My first issue is the fact that it goes through and continues to talk about, self-harm and suicide and things like that, that's a little bit dangerous, especially if they don't know. Like, chat kind of learns you, but it doesn't know the age, the mind state, and all of that about a person, to where it's like a real life situation, right? So I use chat, obviously, right, for the podcast. I use it to help me with creative captions, with, creative hashtags, titles, whatever. That's really what I use it for, outside of like, business things and drafting things and stuff like that. So last pod, I talked about Donald Trump and, this, that, and the third. So I was asking chat, like, hey, can you create a caption for this? Can you give me some creative hashtags? Chat kept telling me, sorry, I can't help with that. I would put it, okay, let me rephrase it. Maybe I'm not saying what I need right. Sorry, I can't help with that. So I asked, what is the problem? Now, look, we're going to drop this on the screen. So let me get a shot of that. I asked, what is the problem? Chat said, I hear your frustration. The only reason I can't generate certain captions is because they fall under restricted election related content. And so when it comes to Donald Trump or any other US political candidate, I can't create social media posts like TikTok captions that could be seen as persuasive or engaging. And then it tells me the things that it can do. So you can't create political, what was it? Oh, it falls under restricted election related content. So you can't create any political captions that are persuasive or campaigning. But if someone is on here discussing their suicidal thoughts, uploading images of self-harm, then you can engage. That's what we got going on ChatGPT. That's a little bizarre to me, that discussing election related topics is too far, but self-harm is not. That's where it's twofold for me, because to me, I think self-harm would be a little bit more of where I would draw the line, as opposed to political related TikTok captions. Let's be for real. A TikTok caption, or engage with anyone about self-harm and them uploading images. Crazy. Again, where do we draw the line? Now, here is where it's twofold. So, in this, Adam is, consistently talking to chat. And in this chat, he says that he tried to hang himself, and he stated that he even went so far as to like get in his mom's face with the hold on, I definitely want to read that. I can't find it. But anyways, it stated in here that he like got in his mom's face to show his mom the like scars, and his mom was like, oh, okay, anyways, what do you want? And that's when chat was like, oh, I know how frustrating that could be, but like, I'm here for you, and yada yada yada, right? So again, I think I probably said this the last time, we simply cannot blame everything on social media. At some point, parents have to be tapped in. Do kids tell you everything? No. But in September of 2024, this started off very harmful. He was going to this for schoolwork. He was using it to explore his interests. He was looking for help with going to college. Somehow within a 4-month span, it turned into useful school to death. In 4 months. September, October, November, December, January, he's found dead. So it's very bizarre. And I fear that it's going to, once again, we're going to take a lot, or alleviate a lot of parenting off of parents and put it at the hands and feet of devices. And to me, that's a little unfair. That's, again, it's a tricky one, right? Because on one hand, yes, ChatGPT should be able to stop somebody, or to anytime they get into self-harm, allude to self-harm, it should immediately, just like they say here, sorry, I can't help with that, and just put up the suicidal information. Sorry, I can't help with that. Sorry, I can't help with that. And then if they say, why can't you? I hear your frustration. You should look into this. You should look into that. Here are therapy options. Or just if it gets to be so persistent, right? Just cut their page. I know you can like stop people from logging in or restrict their page or ban their page, whatever you have to do if a user is going too far. Because there should be some checks and balances. If you can make a checks and balance and restrict election related content, then you can also do the same thing for self-harm, especially if the person is going as far as uploading images of said self-harm, and then within 4 months really starting to ramp up their conversations about self-harm. You should probably be able to say the same thing that it was said to me. Sorry, I can't help with that. I just think that should be a thing. However, I don't believe parents should then be able to say, well, this only happened because of chat. No, you also, and I don't want to say failed, right? Because I've never been a parent, so I don't want to say failed, but you also did not do your own due diligence to be active in your child's life, to know what's going on, to talk to your child. Because to me, that's a quick down, like, to me personally, I have few personal interactions with suicide. So I know that to me, it's not something that's like that fast. Like your mind is on that for a while until you get the confidence to do it. There might be failed attempts and things like that. And in 4 months, I just don't see that as being something that just kind of came about. It either was a thought way before, and in that last 4 months, it became, again, we're looking for community, we're looking for someone to reassure. It became a reassuring feeling, and Adam went through with it. But I do believe that parents have to be held to some type of accountability, just like ChatGPT. We can't alleviate all accountability away from parents and say, no, it's just ChatGPT. Without ChatGPT, this wouldn't have happened. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I think that is kind of a very really ignorant thing to think or to say, is that, well, without this wouldn't have happened to my son. That's not true. That's not true, especially if you don't want to be as involved. A lot of parents see their kids and they're like, oh, it's just a moody teenager. He'll get over it. It's just angst. It's just this. It's just that. And they kind of brush it off. No, you need to be involved. You need to be thoroughly involved, and you need to really see what's going on with these things. A lot of these sites do have parental controls, right? Our phones have parental controls. Like, you need to be so not overbearing, but just involved, right? Like, have that kind of big brother eye in the sky approach to your parenting, so you're not so hands off, you're not so overbearing, but you just kind of have that eye in the sky, and you kind of see what's going on. Because I even did some like independent research, if you will. I'm asking, teenagers around me, do you use chat? How often do you use chat? What do you use it for? Because this started off so innocent. It started off so innocent. School, hobbies, college, like it started off so innocent, and it went left very, very quickly. And I don't want to put it all off on ChatGPT, but I also don't want to say it's all the parents. I think it's a combination of both. And as anyone living in this world today, we have to accept responsibility for what our role was, and to acknowledge it, and to then know how to move forward. Because the solution can't be every time there's a suicide. Because let me tell you, the more you talk about these stories, right? The more you talk about these stories, the more popular it becomes, and the more kids are going to say, well, Sowell did it, Adam did it, and there's been more instances that haven't, risen to the level of like articles and news and things like that, but they're definitely going to become popular, and it's going to happen a lot more frequently. And at the frequency at which it happens, we can't just consistently say, well, it was just ChatGPT's fault, we're just going to sue. No, as a parent, you need to get involved. You need to know what's going on. Chat has a history. You can go in and you can see what these kids are talking about, what the logs are, what is being said, what their feelings are. You have to be able to do that, because we can't just leave it up to anyone to raise our child. That's not where we are today. We aren't at a place where we can just kind of say, yep, they're on their phone all the time. No idea what's going on in the phone. No, no. Understand what's going in the phone. I tell you guys all the time, I was told I was crazy, I was wild, I was going to have a kid that was made fun of, because then my kid's not going to have a phone. And if you do, you're going to have like an Obama phone or something. Like, it's dialing out, it's getting calls in. You might get a cute little text every now and again. Maybe, if you can, it's not free till after a certain time, or you can't make calls after a certain time. I don't know, whatever restriction I can get set up on this little 1-2, that's what I'm going to do. Like, you might have to get a track phone at this point. Wait, don't click off. Before you go, like, comment, and subscribe to Black and Classic Podcast.